All right, so this is Katy Purry taking a nap. I thought it'd be a fun time. Look at that tail. That'd be a fun time to make a quick video about her. She's doing some really cute things, and I thought I'd share them with you. She's way more vocal, and I mean, look at my way more vocal. And I just in the last day, she's become super vocal until I pull the camera out. Like she knows the camera. It's amazing. Anyway, a very cute thing that she's doing. She's dreaming right now. Do you see her twitching? It's very cute. She's having a dream. Anyway, when she pees, she tells me about it. She gets in the box. She does this little trill. It's not a meow, it's a little trill. I can't do it. But it's the cutest sound. It's not like the meow that I've heard. I've caught her meowing a few times, talking on video that I put up on shorts. But it's this little trill, and then she looks at me like, "You hear me? I'm going now." But she only does that when she pees. I don't know why. It's hysterical. It's adorable. And she waits though, so she'll do that little trill. And if I was sitting here at the computer, I was working, and she did a little noise, and I waited. I didn't hear anything. I heard a pause, like this pause, silence. I look over at her, and she looked at me, and then she did it. Funny cat. She is really, really cute, though. She's becoming more social. Um, not I mean, obviously she's just wicked social with me. She just loves me, but and she loves my brother. But she's becoming more social with my sister, my mother, which is nice. Super sweet kitty though. But the whole thing about her, I thought I would share with you. To me, it's very funny. Another thing that she's doing. Where is her toy? I don't have it here. You've seen the video of her little bird with the wings that flap. Her thing now is she likes carrying it around. It is the cutest thing in the world. She plays fetch. There's two little balls that she'll play fetch with, and she'll bring it to me. There's some springs, several little springs little plastic springs she loves. She won't return those to me, but she'll retrieve them, but run by me and run into the office here and drop them in here. So the only thing she'll bring to me and continue the game of fetch, excuse me, are these two little balls I have that have these little things. I'll show you next time. I don't know where they are, but she really loves carrying the bird around. Look, the bird is very big. I mean, it's a big, good sized bird, and it's funny watching her carry this little bird around. So I was reading today that her tail might be a foot long. When they're fully grown, their tails are around 18 inches long. Her tail is going to grow 8 inches. It gives you an idea of how much her body and everything else is going to grow. I'm starting to think, like, look, she's a Maine Coon, so I know she's going to be big. But her dad's a monster, and her mom's. Here's the thing: I don't know how big her mom is. I only have the picture. If you look, this is what gives me the feeling like she's really gonna be a beast of a cat. This is dad right here. Right? He's a chunker. He's 35 pounder. He's a big boy, right? And here's mom. Now, I don't know whose arm that is. I am hoping that is a little teeny kid's arm petting the cat. But even if it's a little kid's arm, that's a big cat. That really is a big animal. So you get that, you breeding with that, and there's the result. So she's going to be a big one. It's amazing that they grow till they're 4 or 5 years old. That to me is amazing. She's such a fun cat, though. I feel sort of like a bad dad. every parent feels a sense of guilt where you'll stick a TV show on or pop a movie in just because you know it locks your kids in, and it's like the electronic babysitter. And I felt guilty doing that when I was a dad, when my kids were little. I feel guilty doing that, but it was necessary sometimes. Well, I've got cat TV. Here, I feel guilty. Here's what I did this morning. I really wanted to play guitar, and I haven't been able to play as much. I love guitar. It's like one of my passions. And she just wasn't having it. I thought, you know what? I could put a movie in for the kid. I mean, the a cat vid for the kitty. So I did. I put this video on, and she was like, just parked it in front of it for about an hour, and I got a chance to play for a while. So it was a nice little distraction, a little break. But boy, she is cute, and she's growing. See that little thing? Oh, is that cute? I love when she does that. I'm so glad she did that on video. Tell me that's not the cutest thing you ever saw. Anyhow, this is my kitty. I'm so glad I'm her human. She's a. Oh, see that? You have such a pretty face. She's a sweet kitty. Cover her up. All right, so there's the update on my cat. I shouldn't say it's my cat. I mean, it's my cat, but I don't own her. She owns me. Anyway, what a great kitty. Thank you for hanging out with me. So I did put it in a short. What weird stuff does your cat do? I know it does weird things. I mean, that cats that have done weird things. Like I had a cat whose favorite thing in the whole world were Lay's potato chips. She loved Lay's, but she died when she was 22. So there are people say, well, you shouldn't give her Lay's. 22 years old, the cat lived. And she was the most peculiar cat. She was neat. She had 9 lives. You guys have 9 lives story? I lived in Vermont when I had her, right? So it was a Vermont cat. We didn't have a cat box. They went to the door, went, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. We opened the door, they went outside. We had a ton of land. We lived in the woods. So one day she comes home from plant, and there were times where they wouldn't come home for 3 or 4 days at a time. We never worried. We were like, oh my God, the cat's not here. She'll be back. Lived for a long time. One day she comes back and there was a stick, bigger around than this pen. I'm not kidding. I'm trying to find a pen thick enough that it would show you, like a magic marker, sticking in her hip. It was in her and it had broken off. There was this much stick hanging out of her and it was embedded in her. See how cute she is being? No, you can't. So I'm sorry. So no point in you need to see the cat, not me. So she had this stick embedded in her, this big around. It was terrible. And so we called the vet in town. And the vet said, whatever you do, don't pull it out. You're like, dude, there's a stick like inside her. We have to pull it out. And he said, don't. She'll lick it out and work it out on her own. Sorry about the light. It's washing everything out. What with the white cat and all. Anyhow, he said she'll work it out on her own. And she did. She worked it out on her own. And then for the rest of her life, she had a little triangle patch on her back right hip that didn't have hair. That was one of her 9 lives. The second of them was unbelievable. We had my mom. We had a big house we lived in Vermont, a really big house. And we heated our house with, in the wintertime, with wood, firewood, and coal. So when it was a whole wing of the house. So when we didn't have guests, we closed that off and not heat it, right? I mean, there's no point in heating a section of a big part of the house that nobody was in. So we had family coming to visit us. It was my mother's brother, my godfather, who's a surgeon, who's at the time he was, I think he had just become a doctor at the time. I'm not quite sure, but he was in the process. He was either in the process or had just become a doctor. Now he's a very accomplished, almost retired surgeon. At any rate, he was coming to visit. So about a week before, uh, my mother went into opened up that wing of the house and went in and made the bed and got it all prepared for guests to arrive. It was a big wing of the house. Again, it was a huge house. So when she went in there, my cat snuck in and she didn't hear her. She didn't announce, "Hey, I'm in here. Don't lock me in here. It's cold. There's no food or water in here. And you'll likely shut the door for the next week." So she went in there. My mother made the bed and then left and shut the door. And it was a big enough house and a separate wing far enough away from everybody else that we didn't hear her meows at night. We didn't hear it. To make matters worse, it was wintertime, so it was cold. No food, no water in there for about a week. So the day comes for my uncle to arrive with his wife. I can even have this is almost worth having Mama Scoville there, tell the story off camera. She won't be on camera. She wouldn't do that. Just so you guys can hear the story from somebody other than me. But when they got there, I carried their luggage up. We were all excited that they were there. We opened the door, and my cat. We saw apparently fly. I wasn't the first one in. Somebody else was in, but she was upright on her feet, and then flopped over when the door opened up. And she was emaciated and dehydrated. It was horrible. So she was dying. It was terrible. She was dying. So my uncle said to my dad, "What's the strongest I swear it's a true story. What's the strongest alcohol you have in the house here?" And my dad said, "I have some 151 Bacardis." He said, "Go get me some and get me an eyedropper." So he brought the bottle of rum with an eyedropper up to that section of the house where the cat was laying down. And he got some rum in the eyedropper, put it in her mouth, and then rubbed her chest. Not like compressions, but just kind of like rubbed her chest, like a sternum rub you would do on a person, but did it on a cat. He didn't know what he's doing. He's trying to help. You see her twitching? She's dreaming up a storm right now. Twitching. And anyway, she didn't just survive. She went on to live another 6 or 7 years. She was amazing. She was an amazing cat. We had the cat for 22 years. She went to the vet one time, and that was when we had to put her down. Anyway, that cat, her name was Linda, and I named her Linda because I had a crush on my dad's secretary. I was a little boy, but I had a mad crush on my dad's secretary, and her name was Linda. Every day, my mother would call the office and talk to my dad, and Linda was his secretary, so she would answer the phone. So every day she'd give me the phone, and I would talk to Linda. She'd flirt. She was nice to me. She talked to me. I was a little boy. I was in love with her. So when I got a cat, they said, "What do you want to name it?" I said, "Linda." He said, "You can't name a cat Linda." And sure enough, man, we named that cat Linda. She lived, such a great cat. Family, everybody, they don't have any more, but back, like people my age, their families had something called family albums, photo albums with pictures of family. Some of them were themed like a certain person and whatever. She had her own photo album. There are pictures of me. There's a picture of me splitting a ice pop with her when I was 4 years old. She was just a little cat. There's pictures of me going to high school, going to junior prom. There's pictures of me the day I left for college with her. I mean, Here's an amazing cat. So it's okay. It's okay. Gotcha. I'm right here. If they say someone said you should never wake up a cat, whatever. My cat's twitching and freaking out. I'm going to wake her up and let her know that everything is okay. Anyhow, few stories. So my cat pees and tells me when it. That's the weird thing my cat does. So please do me a favor. I didn't mean to go off on this crazy tangent, but cats, man, cats. Tell me what crazy things your cats do. I want to hear about them. I want to read about them. Please leave it in a comment. Katy Purry says hi. That's Katy Purry. I'm just her human. This is the dope Maine Coon cat. See you next time.